And then would just like also to remind the commission that the current parking configuration does meet the multifamily residential parking requirement. So, you know, it's staff's preference with, again, the draft condition that we recommended that we not put quite as much of a concise cap on it, knowing that we've got those 2 or 3 different things we're trying to balance, and can absolutely commit to work with the applicant to try and get as much parking space outside of the sidewalk corridor, if you will, as possible.
Keep in mind that you're creating a situation where you may be creating a situation where you're violating town code in another respect by not providing adequate depth for whatever driveways you have here.
Do we need to specify that, because this is attached to item A, do we need to read that out? Mr. Vella?
I just want to be really clear because there's a nuance here in the motion. It meets code right now, period. So if someone were to park on the sidewalk, that creates a town code issue. But the design in front of you meets code. And so I think the motion needs to reflect that. It's not going to meet code with the condition. The condition is going beyond code requirements. And forgive me, I mean, that may sound a little nitpicky, but I think it's important in terms of the record, especially from a legal perspective.
I respectfully disagree with Mr. Vella. I believe that there is a design principle connectivity that is not met by code if we allow this to happen as proposed without the condition. And that is connectivity. Strengthen the usability and connectivity of the pedestrian environment internally and externally by enhancing access to the public street system, blah, blah, blah. So I think that you could argue, at least I would argue, that in fact you don't meet that principle if you keep it under the present design.
Chair Gebel, members of the commission, if we would like, it is on our agenda. We can actually go to executive session and have a discussion on this so we can have it outside of the public's ear, and I can tell you what the law really says. If you vote on the motion as it currently stands, I would really want us to go into executive session before you do such a thing.
I have never done an executive session. Mr. Andrews, how do I call that to order?
Madam Chair, what you do right now is you take a vote of the board or the commission to decide whether or not we go into executive session, and then we retire into a different room and we have a discussion on this topic.
With the condition agreed to by the applicant that driveways for lots 14 through 17 are to be widened and or the distance to the rear property line shall be reduced to the minimum setback to better accommodate a standard vehicle.